Okay, everybody. Some of you may know that Gary Gregg, who's shirtless right now in his office, right here. I'll show you the office. This is the office. Uh, is working on a landscape plan. I was supposed to have a window here, but this is a shear wall, so it's impossible to put a window for earthquake safety. If I had a window, that would be the view. Those are my fish hanging there. Anyway, this is where I sit when I design gardens or do all my work. I don't design a lot of gardens anymore, but sometimes people talk me into it. And here is a case in point. This is in Yucaipa at 3,000 foot elevation, 70 miles east of LA. You can actually see LA from this property. This is a huge pit that is going to be a lake for fire protection for the property. It's a 25-acre property. And there's a kind of a meadow there above the water feature. They're looking down at the water feature down this way. The house is over there. And the customer had already built a big wall here. And there's going to be a big patio area. And he was kind of lost on what to do. There's all this beautiful native vegetation that goes up the slope. And there's even trails that go up the top for a view. Here's kind of a land bridge going across. This is a gully that comes down and up, but he's obviously dammed it. And there's beautiful views off in the distance. And so I'm designing this garden now. And you can see there's lots of native rock in the area. I'm going to build a big, beautiful stream through here and a plunge pool that you can just soak into with he has well water, and he'll fill this up by opening a valve up here, which will flood the plunge pool, and then it'll drain down into the pond. So you'll have fresh, clean water when you want to use it, and then it'll just drain into the pond when you're not using it. There's some beautiful oak clusters here. We're going to dig into this here, make a slot. It's actually going to be a big patio. This is above the pond. Then this will be a trailhead that goes out and around the pond. And we're going to do an outdoor kitchen in here with a big arbor system over it. There's a cluster of the oaks. This is pictures that I took. We're going to light those oaks, obviously. I want to put boulders around the oaks that'll separate out the patio area. Might just be golden decomposed granite, or it could be flagstone if they want to spend some more money. But it's pretty rustic, so I like the idea of the decomposed granite. This will be looking head on at the outdoor kitchen. And I'll show you what the outdoor kitchen is going to look like, because he saw one of my videos on HGTV. And this is my inspiration page I'm telling him about. And he called me up specifically because of this video. And so the outdoor kitchen will end up looking like this, where currently where this is now. Let's see if you can see these side by side. So this is a garden I designed here. Well, it's not really a garden; it's a room. This is we're going to go in between these two oaks. We're going to notch into the hill. We're going to step up 3 steps. That way we don't have to dig too deep into this slope. And we'll have a whole platform there. And I'll show you the actual plan here. This is what you get when you get a design by Gary Gregg. Actually, I just doodle all over the place. And I'm the design guy. I'm the idea guy. And then I send it to my wonderful sidekick, Sarah Hayward, who's actually a licensed landscape architect. And she will actually draw this up for me. She drew the base plan you can see here for me, and I'm drawing on top of that. So she did all of this lettering and everything. She translated the design that the homeowner gave us. He's actually a pipeline contractor, so he's pretty adept at drawing plans. And we took these plans and then we put them on the computer. I printed it up on my little printer at 11 by 17. And I have a scale to work off right there. And so back to the beginning, the house is here. It's really awkward because there's a big gravel road here now. So I'm going to minimize the road, and I'm going to make a massive meadow through this whole entire complex. The pond is over here. I want to The wall that he built is here. It's a big giant terrace. Here's the cluster of oaks, There's the trailhead. Here's the outdoor kitchen area, plus 18 inches. There'll be a seat wall on top of that. That'll be 18 inches. That'll give you 3 feet to here from this grade here. So it'll be a 3-foot differential. There'll be boulders retaining some of that slope here as it comes down. There's going to be a 16-foot long concrete table. These are pillars, and this will be completely covered by a shade structure. The whole thing will be overlooking this pond, really big pond. And there'll be a seat wall that comes across. We have some smaller tables with little wooden benches on the outside. We have a C-sectional seating area with 3 planting wells with shade trees in them. Big boulders retaining the edge here, and a whole line of lounge chairs. These are umbrellas, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you have 2, 4, 6, you have 8 lounge chairs. He has a really big family that he wants to have big parties there for. The trailhead, you follow the trailhead out, it goes around the pond. It leads to a beautiful gravel terrace, boulder strewn fire pit area with Adirondack chairs surrounding it. There will be, so there's a little drainage course in here we need to deal with. So we're going to take that up with a few boulders along. We're going to plant a grove of Brachychiton populanus up here. They look a lot like aspen trees, and they're much more drought tolerant, and they'll actually survive here, whereas aspen trees won't. These are going to be blue palms, my favorite blue palms from Mexico, and they're going to be strewn all along this watercourse. We're going to have Dasylirium from Mexico, Mexican grass trees all along there, and the rest of it's really just going to be a dark green meadow and boulders that will sort of delineate this natural stream. This will be the plunge pool. There will be a very simple bridge here, 8-foot bridge running across the little rivulet. And then the pathway will come around the corner. We'll have lots of Arizona sycamore trees with beautiful white trunks. On the other side of the lake, they'll get fall color. It'll be a beautiful scene looking across. And he has a trail just going straight. I'm trying to give the trail a little bit of meander. And the way I do that, that's most interesting and probably costly and probably won't happen, but I'm going to throw the idea out there anyway, is to pour some concrete piers within the water and then set boulders on top of those piers at the water level, thereby creating a floating stepping stone path through the water, and a big giant stone with probably a couple piers under it at the head, and you can jump off that. That'll be pretty spectacular. The path winds back around, big jump rock here, some big boulder retention in the slope. All native plants are going to stay up the slope. And we have a couple Adirondack chairs. This is a pathway that leads out to a viewpoint. Right now, this is all just grass, and we're going to keep that. And yeah, the gravel, this whole area is gravel now. It's really stark. I could probably show you photos. And we are going to change that to look more like a meadow, a road that went through a meadow. See, here's what it looks like right now. The garage is right here. So we're creating this, it's a really awkward space. So there's nothing between these points. So I'm trying to have a whole bunch of trees here, a whole bunch of trees here, and delineating these entry points that are big enough to drive cars through, but no bigger. Right now, as you can see, it's way oversized for the access. And then there's the corner of the house. So it's really a design challenge. There's my customer. So we're going to, there's the terrace where the tables and outdoor kitchen will be. And let's see, what else do we have here? Just wanted to show you, oh, here's this area. It's just naked as can be. So that, you'd be looking at the thing like this, and that's what you'd see. So we're going to really separate the architecture of the home. We're going to make this a stand on its own destination because it's really awkward coming off the garage for such a beautiful spot. There's the views. You can see the views off in the distance. There's my van parked there. This is just gravel that goes out. This will be a meadow that you literally drive through the meadow. See that? And he wants extra parking on the side. So this will just be a meadow. When people are over, you just mow the meadow and park cars. And then when no one's there, you let the meadow grow out. So, and there's here's more of the grove. But anyway, I wanted to show you the design process. So I do design gardens still. You know, they have to be kind of interesting. They gotta be, this one's really fun and interesting. And I have to have time, which often I don't. But feel free to throw your project at me. And the more you like it tropical, that's always a plus. I get more interested in that. But I also like, this is a real native, this is gonna be kind of a native garden. I'll still throw some exotics into it, but they'll be local exotics, Mexican, Arizona, and you know, Southern California yuccas and things like that. And what else do I want to tell you about this? I'll show you the inspiration page so that now you know. And I'm about to send this off. I might actually go see the client tomorrow. So this is the kind of road I'm talking about. Isn't that pretty? How's that? Throw some lupine flowers out there. Just get your native grasses, or just put sod down and just drive through it. We'll probably have to put some base rock down the middle and then like dig a trench down the middle and get the grass to grow in between the wheel lines. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a more natural layout. Here's the Arizona sycamore we're going to use, the white trunk. Here's another country road. Even if it looks like this with just dry grasses, and that'll be so much prettier than what we have right now. Here's some inspiration. You can actually see the piers that they put underneath these stones. We'll be doing something very similar. I don't think these stones are real. Well, maybe they are. But you can see the pier right there. It's holding it up. The water level looks to be a little low here. You want the water level to be halfway on the stone so you don't see the pier. And so that's kind of what we're looking for there. This happens a lot in Japanese style gardens. And then the upper stream above the fire pit that runs through this meadow here is simply going to be boulders and brachychiton trees that look like aspens, and then grass, and then we're literally just going to have a river course along here, just like, or not a river, just a stream course, just a drainage course. That's what it's going to look like. The blue palms are going to punctuate that green. You can imagine with this kind of green, having these kind of blue palms in there will be quite spectacular. This is native habitat of blue palms in Southern California. And this is what the blue palms look like when they get going. And they will also be mixed in with Mexican grass trees, which are also, both these plants, the Mexican blue palm is native to the San Diego mountains, just south of the Mexico border. So it's really close by. It's probably only maybe 100 miles away from this location. And the sycamore trees are also native nearby. There's that white trunk of the sycamores that we're going after. And here's the brachychiton trees. They're lush and evergreen all year long. They look like aspen trees, and they call them populinus because they look like brachychiton populinus because they look like poplars. And here is the outdoor kitchen that we're going to try to emulate with all the beautiful appliances, fire pit, seat wall, etc. And we're going to have a whole line of lounge chairs, 8 lounge chairs, so the whole family can sit there and have some cold drinks and overlook the pond. There's what we're kind of going after for the fire pit. It could be natural boulders, or it could be Adirondack chairs, whatever the client likes. This one's kind of, I don't know if I like that so much. Doesn't look very natural. This one's interesting because those are just big squared off logs. I thought that was interesting. But what we do in the design process is I'll just send you a bunch of photographs and you decide how you want that area to look. And that way you don't pay me by the hour to sit there and shoot at the dark. Here's another simple, just Adirondack chair kind of layout. So I basically design all the spaces, and then here's our simple bridge. Simple, like maybe 6 railroad ties. You can get those for free often. I just got some the other day from the railroad next to our nursery. And this is kind of how we want the stream to look. Obviously, it's not going to be that big, but here's the idea. And this, you can imagine that in miniaturized form of like 10 by 10 right there, 12 by 12. There's the bridge. So I did all this in about 3 or 4 hours, coming up with all these columns. Because I've been thinking about this job for a long time, but I haven't really charged him to think about it. I'm just charging him when I actually draw it. And so that's pretty much how we do. Well, I'm going to run these ideas by him and see what he likes. And then once he likes them, I'll send them to Sarah, and Sarah will make it all pretty, put all the notes on it. And then we'll be done. He'll have a concept. And next thing you know, paradise will happen. How's that?